Okay, so your cells, you can make, whenever I talk about Vata, Pitta, and Kapha body types, there's a distinct and considerable difference between the speed and the pickup of reception as far as the origin point of energy and energy itself. And Vata is heavily tuned into this. Vata is basically right at the spectrum where energy occurs. When you start moving off of this, when you start adding fat to your cells, this is what makes Pitta so stable, so calm and stable, makes you a lot harder to frustrate, it makes it a lot easier for you to keep a long thread of thought in mind and in check. You don't lose your train of thought as nearly as easily. And it is considerably slower. This past few hours, I've been feeling into this space of basically recreating, but what it is like for both Pitta, light Pitta, heavy Pitta, light Kapha and heavy Kapha, as well as duodeco Kapha. Duodeco Kapha. It's a heavier form. It's even more concentrated fat body. Protects your cells. It stops you from dehydrating out. And they're distinctly different. Your perspective, your vantage point, your perception, your reception of the world, vastly and drastically, unless you are that person, you have no idea what they're going through, what it's like to be them. If you're a Pitta body type, you are very steady and secure within your own biology. If you're a heavy Kapha body type, you are extremely secure and knowing in your own biology. You are very comfortable to be with and be around. You almost can never get frustrated. You almost can never get very heated. It's hard. It's hard for you to get wound up. You're very calm. Vata, your energy is very focused and direct. It's very narrow. It's like a small flame. It's like a flame, very intense. You're very intense. Your emotions are very sharp, very explosive, very expressive, very, very peaky. There's lots of peaks in Vata. It's closed off, but it's peaky. You have a sense of awareness, but it's not encompassing. You don't have a lag time of seconds of data and information coming in. It's all right in the moment. It's all just right now. There's almost no... And as soon as you start moving off into Pitta, you basically move off of that energy center awareness point. You're less physically tuned in to that state of energy. You're still sensing, you're still percepting the same moment, but from a different standpoint, from a different oscillation, from a different frequency. Your clock speed literally slows down. It allows you to take more in awareness-wise. You're recording it from the rate of information which you are recording doesn't necessarily, but it does. You just take information in differently, and on up to the light Kapha and heavy Kapha. Your ability, your awareness. Basically, when you get to light Kapha, when your cells become that comfortable, that slowing down, you start taking in basically your entire surroundings all at once. And you take in information differently, more steadily, more slowly. But you yourself are not able to interact with that base energy point at which all energy originates from us, the humans, the human beings, the human souls. And Vata is primarily tuned into that, tuned in for that. Whenever anything, a little moment, as soon as energy changes, we know it almost instantly. Light Pitta, it's about 20% slower. It's a whole 20% slower. You're not as tuned in, you're not as aware, you're not as tuned into that moment of just energy itself. You're not energy itself. You've shifted off of that point. You are completely different in that spectrum. Your receptive point. And you go to heavy Pitta is more secure and stable. But it's not, and they're more comfortable to be around, but they're not, they lack that complete situational, complete calmness. They're not completely super secure. And even though they are in some ways in their own biology, they don't have that, like, they don't have that feeling, I am completely calm. I am completely calm and aware. They are much calmer, but it's like they don't have that, like, certainty that heavy kapha does. Not even light kapha has that heavy sense of security. And so I basically coated all of the mouth cells, all my airways, transformed them over from light Pitta to heavy Pitta to light kapha. That's where they are right now. All of this, all in my mouth. And it allows me to tune, and it slows, as soon as you do that, it slows your cells down physically. They stop moving as fast. They stop burning as much energy. But as soon as you get to heavy kapha, that you become so comfortable and safe around your total awareness. The more you move off of vata, the more a community aspect becomes your base focus in life. And heavy kapha is almost very purely community based, because that's almost all they sense and all they notice. It's that total encompassment of everyone in the room all at once. It's a slow but very steady perception, but it's not slow, it's still in the moment. It's just, you're just tuned in from a different vantage point, looking down, looking out. To us, you feel like a god. You feel amazing. You have that total, that's just as a wave, a wash being pressed over us. It's a different kind of energy. Vata is very high, very peaky. Right now I have a coating, I have a shell of basically cells. I didn't mean to say epithelial cells. That's just epithelial, squamous, mesothelous, squamous cells. All that college nonsense terminology, biology stuff, that doesn't really matter. It's just cells. It's just physics. It just is. All this nonsensical jargon that they fill you with, that they give you bullshit-wise, it's not needed. A cell is a cell. A living cell is a cell. It's a body. And it's basically all under your control. You can adjust the qualities, the frequencies of it. So one of the things I'm doing to help me convey, to relate this knowledge more to you is, most of my brain is still vata, but I have a shell of literally light pitta cells, a fatty layer of cells which slows down the incoming information. The whole brain itself cannot move as fast because this is basically covering my brainstem. It's covering the reception. Everything that goes in and out has to pass through those fattier layer of cells. And this slows things down for me. This makes me a lot more stable and calm, but it moves me away from that reception point of energy, which feels wrong. There needs to be a balance within the world of people who are specifically tuned into that energy, and specifically me, a very high energy awareness. I don't have as much energy perception going on. I'm not tuned into energy as much. And it's weird, it feels wrong, it feels fine, it feels great, but it's like it's not needed for the world. The world needs me in a high state of energy. Okay, going back to Vata. Vata is very explosive, very direct, very dynamic, very direct, very powerful, very explosive, that's why it's so easy for us to go, yay! And it's like, wah! And just like, you don't have that in like Pitta, Kapha, Vata. But Kapha, you don't have those in the other ones, in the other spectrums. It's like that intensity of energy is lacking, it's not there. You need that sharp focus, that burst of energy, that yeah. When things are too boring on Earth and too boring in the room, you need that light Vata, you need that Vata body type to go in there and go, yo guys, what's up? Wow, yeah. And just freaking scream out, just like his love for the world. That sharpness of emotion that gives life, that gives balance. Heavy Kapha gives life, gives balance. Light Kapha gives life, gives balance. Pitta, light Pitta, you guys give life, give balance. It gives understanding and meaning to the world. It's a different type of energy. It's slower physically. It's at a different resonance. But if you hold it, it still occurs at the same rate. It's like it still occurs. So it's not or you're not like non-existent. This is like one of the best feelings in the world. Is it's a light cough or a heavy pee, like loving you. Them constantly focusing aware and them focusing their energy and beaming it at you. It's just like, it's encompassing. It's like, whoa, that feels fucking amazing. This is like, thanks Speaker, thanks Irie, thanks anyone. And it's like all of your energies are amazing. Vata is very sharp and very focused, very direct. It's very intense. When they're beaming at you, when a kapha, any of them are beaming at you, you know when they're constantly tuned in and aware with you. It's a completely different energy. I love that. I miss that. I love being me, that fast me, that slow you. It's so beautiful. And like it's that steady you. You become steadier, and your energy broadens out. You are literally a bag of water, a bag of cells when you are Vata. Unless you're a woman, you have fat basically in your face and your skin, but your brain itself is Vata. It's basically, it's not really fatty. It's not that fatty. It's mostly water. And it allows almost a free exchange of energy, electricity to flow through very rapidly, very vapidly. Another difference between light Pitta and light Kapha, Vata and light Pitta. With that surrounding, with that shell around my brain, I cannot send information and energy, and I cannot send energy that quickly. I can't activate it. I can't. It doesn't want to go. It slows it down. It slows the process of that. It slows that. When I am Vata, I can fire off thousands of commands like very, very goddamn quickly. Like just I'm activating all of you almost that fast. I can do it. When I'm at light Pitta, it's like I can't force it. I can't spin that around. I can't just jump my consciousness is the one that doesn't want to flow. It doesn't move as fast. It sucks. It's a huge, heavy drawback, and it's weird. So basically what life has caused me is to be a Vata body type. One of the fastest. I am the fastest on earth. I am the fastest living human being on earth. My chemistry allows for that. It has its drawbacks. I don't stay stable for very long. Now I do. But you can adjust your cells to basically match the needs of your current surroundings. You can make yourself more Vata, more Pitta, more Kapha, depending on what you need. Just talk to your cells and communicate. Tell them either strip down or build up. And fat, it's literally just fat. That's all it is. And your cells would do that for you. If you're constantly dry in your mouth, focus on basically the concept of what those body types are. There's 5 distinct ones, 6 now. And just basically tell your cells that are lining your entire mouth to transform, to add on, to adhere that fat, become fattier. And they will, and you will notice the data, this reception of life through your mouth slows down. It's not as fast. And once you have enough of those cells, you can basically do it in stages. Just do it with your mouth. That's how I did it. That's how I tuned into the visceral feeling of how it feels to be each body type. I slowly moved on from Vata to light Pitta, which was a huge relief. Things are drying out way slower now. I can't be damaged as easily my mouth, or if I ever, or my esophagus, or if I ever puke anything up, or if I get bile in there again, it's not going to hurt me. It's not going to cripple me as much. It's not going to erode my esophagus. It's not going to erode my nasal cavities anymore. All this now is now protected by a layer of fat, almost all the way through down to here. It's the coolest thing. You have almost infinite ability to basically densify, to recreate, to calcify your muscles, to calcify your tendons, your bones. Hardening is one thing, upgrading is another. It's different. Densification is... Hardening is different than densification. It's and with that I will close. So, embrace your biology, know that it is meant for you, know that you are needed. And yeah, having a dual rate of cells like this is way slowed down, this whole thing. And it's different. It's a different clock rate than my mind. It's weird as fuck. Know that you are needed right now, exactly as you are. Learn your own energies and find out what they're about, A heavy Pitta is extremely loving and beautiful to be around. You guys are extremely steady. Your biology itself is so slow, so capable, it's so comfortable, it's so... You're not as reliant upon your food and your water and your resources as we are. When you eat food, it balances and builds you out so well, and you're so comfortable. You feel so comfortable. So when you look at a light Vata body type and you see him suffering, and you're completely ignorant to his situation and to what he's going through. He's not nearly as comfortable as you. He's got needs which are current and present, and you need to be tuned in and aware to them. Light Pitta as well. They're not nearly as stable as you guys. Heavy Kapha, light Kapha, you guys need to be aware of that as well. You guys are way, way, way stable. And like, if you're around a light Vata body type, you can easily inconvenience them just by existing. And by not allowing them to feed, by not allowing them to water. They need that constantly, they need this constantly. They're not as comfortable as you, they're not as stable. It's literally within about 10, 15, 30 minutes, they are freaking out because their biology, their cells require it. They need water, they need balance. They need your love, they need your stability, they need your light passing over them for them to calm their cells down. Otherwise, they literally will overspeed. And they will age faster by default. And it's never, I've always said it's never been that one body type is better than the other. It's just a different specification of cells. That's all it is. Different classification, different specification, different use, different utilization, different speciality, different energy awareness. One is encompassing, one is very complete, one is very sharp and very focused. Vata body types make excellent healers. We have very excellent point awareness. As soon as almost anything goes wrong, we can correct it. That's why, like, even something like bust was like, whereas like at the same time, every body type is extremely capable as a healer, especially Kapha, because that total awareness, if you're constantly focused in the energy, you don't have to worry about anything going out wrong. You're healing almost everything at once, whereas Vata can't really do that. We're healing almost on a point focus. It's like it's very... Basically, your multitasking ability goes up as a Kapha. Your ability to interact with the world slows down, but your multitasking ability goes up. Does that make sense? Do you understand? That's what it feels like to me. That's what my energy perception was over the last 2 hours, of basically delving and finding into those spaces. We are completely different, even male and female. Our genders, our roles, as well as our body types. We are incredibly unique and very valuable, each and every one of us. Love you guys. All right, cut it short.